Welcome to Registered, the podcast of the Catholic Register, where we'll be taking a look beyond the headlines of the stories that graced all of our platforms this past week. I'm Mickey Conlon, editor of the Register, and riding shotgun beside me this week is reporter Luke Mandato. This week's episode is brought to you by Missions and Martyrs, our new magazine celebrating 100 years of the Martyrs Shrine in Midland, Ontario. Go to catholicregister.org/shrine100 or call 1-855-441-4077, extension 1 to order your copy. Fine magazine indeed, if I do say so myself, and I encourage everyone to read it cover to cover. You'll learn plenty about the Shrine's history. Indeed, a lot about Canadian Catholic history in what is now Ontario. It's a key part in our coverage this year on the Martyrs Shrine celebrations and the work of the Jesuits with and among the Wendat people. But Luke, it's not just us. It seems there's plenty of other people celebrating the anniversary as well, including our friends at the Daily TV Mass. What can you tell us about Deacon Mike Walsh and his crew and their plans for the Shrine's anniversary?
Yeah, you said it, Mickey. As much as we've done, it's been great to see the results of that. But as you said, lots of people celebrating. Of course, one being the great Deacon Mike Walsh, who is taking the Daily TV Mass and he's using it as a platform to honor that 100th anniversary centennial of Martyrs Shrine with a special four-part series that's going to be dedicated to Canadian martyrs. So airing from the 24th to the 27th this month, he's brought in some Jesuit fathers, of course, with their recent move to Manresa, and giving a broadcast just about it, sort of an accessible introduction to the Canadian martyrs and, of course, the story of the Shrine. Speaking with me, he said that it's a great opportunity. They're, of course, very excited there with the recent move. And it's just it's a really exciting event. It feels like we joke, Mickey, that Mike Walsh always has something going on, an initiative to mark something. He's always on the ball, and that's the case as well for the Martyrs Shrine. All told, I believe he's going to be bringing in Father John O'Brien, of course, whose name is all throughout our magazine project, as the director of the shrine. He will be speaking alongside Father Hank Van Mehel, the current director of Manresa, and he will be speaking about St. Isaac Jogues on the 25th. Father Michael Coots is also set to give a talk. I know he has a connection to the shrine for about 10 seasons as well. He'll be focusing on the life of St. Jean de Brébeuf. And the series is going to conclude on the 27th with Father O'Brien reflecting on the shrine's history. So just a really nice little week of programming, little half week of programming there from Daily TV Mass, giving people that don't have a chance to get up to Midland. We know how wide-reaching Daily TV Mass's audience is, a chance to celebrate as well.
Well, I know that the Shrine is also doing a special anniversary Mass, and of course, that's one of the stories you're doing for us this week. It's going to be held on June 27th at the Shrine. It's a day-long event with, of course, Mass throughout the day, but also a concert featuring a Rico, a local French-Canadian folk group from nearby La Fontaine, Ontario. And geez, from everything we've heard, I thought Leahy might even be making an appearance there. Of course, that's the Celtic Family Band out of Lakefield, Ontario. Really popular and just an excellent band. So hopefully that's the case. But what have you learned so far about this anniversary mass?
Yeah, it just looks to be a really major celebration. They've done so much already, it seems, Mickey, for this centennial, all the things we've been able to cover. And of course, they're in full summer season right now as we speak, with pilgrimages and different events. But this really seems to me like one of the pinnacles this summer. I haven't had a chance to speak with Father John yet. We know he's, of course, very busy, as we said, peak summer
Busy.
season. Busy is an understatement, Mickey. I feel like I said at the last week at the gala, we maybe got eye contact with him for a little bit. He was just moving table to table, man of the hour for sure. But from what I've heard so far, Mickey, it seems like a great day. They're expecting lots of attendees, of course. There's going to be opportunities for mass a couple times throughout the day. The food court's going to be open there for some food with family, some fellowship opportunities. There's going to be processions taking place on the property throughout the day. And then, of course, that great concert headliner in the evening. So really a mix of faith and fun. It sounds like this is sort of their big day to celebrate. And then, of course, right back into the busy summer season. I checked, I think the next day they have mass, of course, and pilgrimages lined up throughout the week following. So it's an exciting time. It's a busy time. And we hope to let you know more information about that anniversary day in the issue coming up. I got to send Father John another email as soon as we're off of this, Mickey. So we'll see how that goes.
Excellent. And of course, the Missions and Martyrs magazine will be available in the Shrine gift shop. So if you, that could be another opportunity for you to pick it up. And also, we can't forget that our friends at Salt and Light will be broadcasting many of the festivities coming from the shrine that day. So you can take a look to see what they're doing. But, it's not just the shrine that's got big things going on. Catholic Charities, our neighbors at the Catholic Pastoral Center, it's following up on a pre-conference held last year. It's got its Synergy Toronto conference coming up in November. It's an interesting thing they've got on the go here. We always talk about how all these Catholic entities are one in spirit, and we are, really, to a degree. Agnes Thomas and Elio Sergnesi of Catholic Charities, they're looking to strengthen the bonds between many of these entities, especially in the social services, health, and education. What are their plans?
Yeah, what a great initiative, I think, Mickey. And well, some of the finer details and delivery of this conference are still up in the air, seeing as it's this fall. The idea has been really well thought out. It's something the two of them have been thinking about for years now. I think they said even before Agnes's arrival, it's something that they have been sort of toying with, and Agnes has sort of brought it back to the forefront as an opportunity here. And as you mentioned, it's right in the name, synergy. What a way, if we look at social services, healthcare, and education, that really covers a large area of things that Catholic entities are a part of, right? And if we're able to bring them together even more so than they already are, and sort of use each other as ways to better one another, what a great opportunity that is. And I think that's exactly what their plan is. Agnes had a great quote. She said, "There's a desire not only to share the good news, but also to address some of the challenges faced by the various sectors, many of which are often the same. There's a clear consensus around the importance of being there, supporting one another, and building our community. And whether that's in health, education, or community services, we're serving people. And that's something solely connected to the mission of the church." I think that really sums it up there, Mickey. That's bringing people together. They're going to hear from some great speakers. I know there's going to be different keynotes and time for networking and fellowship. And Agnes said, even if coming together for that day, if someone from the healthcare industry, the Catholic healthcare industry, can meet someone from the Catholic education industry, even if it's just for that one day to have a talk, it's going to open up opportunities for collaboration, avenues to connect, bringing those all together in one day, or I guess across the 3 days there, November 3rd to the 5th. It's really exciting. And I think it's something that people are looking forward to. And it has a lot of practical ways that it could work really well.
Well, you know what? They share all this information, and of course, we all know that information is power. And on our a Catholic Register note on that, we're getting involved in that conference. We're one of the media sponsors for it because I had a conversation about Elio about it, and I can remember you wrote. I believe it was you who wrote about the pre-conference last year. And it's just a vague thing in my mind. And then I had the conversation with Elio, and it was just, hey, why did that not kick into me when I first read about this before? So we jumped right on board with that, and we're happy to help them out. So take a look at it. Do you have a website anywhere for that, or just look at Catholic Charities website? Okay.
I do. More information with the list of speakers and all of the events up to date are going to be at it's going to be www.catholicpraxis, that's praxis.ca. And that's their sort of tagline for the event. All the information can be found there.
Okay, excellent. Check it out. And see where you can get involved possibly. So, the next topic I'd like to bring up, it's certainly one I wish I didn't have to. It's been a real stain on Canada for the past 10 years, and that would be MAiD, Medical Assistance in Dying, which, of course, on June 17th will mark 10 years since the Trudeau government passed legislation allowing a medically assisted death in Canada. We've watched this abomination over the past decade morph into something I'm sure few in the general public expected in just this short one decade. But the warnings from religious leaders, pro life groups like Campaign Life Coalition and the Euthanasia Prevention Coalition, well, they were there right from the start. And the Register, of course, has been covering this for the past 10 years and even longer when this was just being talked about. But this week what we did was we turned to an outside voice to give us a look into this, and that would be the fantastic Terry O'Neill out in Vancouver. He did a hard-hitting series with our partners in Canadian Catholic News, the BC Catholic, to mark this shameful anniversary. And key in his story was that we really shouldn't be that surprised by how this has developed. He turned to 50 years ago and the me generation, laying the blame squarely on boomers and our quest for self-fulfillment. Basically, it's all about me. As a card-carrying member of the boomer generation, there's nothing I saw in Terry's piece that I could argue with. I grew up with this whole media-driven culture that I will do what is best for me, damn the consequences. I know that this seems pretty simplistic, but a lot can happen and develop over 50 years. And hey, I've seen it firsthand. Maybe we should have heeded that old phrase, careful what you wish for. So, what I worry about here, though, is your generation, Luke, because what are you guys thinking about death? You guys are invincible still, right? So, what, if anything, are guys your age thinking about MAiD, or is it so far off that it's not even on your radar?
Yeah, it's one of those things, Mickey, where you have to be really careful and make sure you're aware of what's going on, or it creeps up on you. And I think it's creeped up on a lot of people. I kind of look at it in three different groups of these last 10 years. So if we go back to when it was introduced in 2016, I believe it would be, I was still in high school at the time. And at that point, it was also new. We were focused on other things. I don't think myself or any of my friends had any real understanding of what it meant or what it was going to become, obviously. Fast forward to my time in college, it would have been probably 4 years. Yeah, 4 years after that. Again, it's sort of this appeasement thing where little by little it starts to grow. You're hearing more about it. You're seeing more cases, especially here in Canada. You're hearing some of the laws and regulations change around it. Fast forward to today, Mickey, and it's everywhere. I feel like you can't escape it in the news. You can't escape it in political discussions on Parliament. It just becomes something so really unfortunately baked and ingrained into the Canadian landscape, so much so that I've seen a lot of other countries really take the mick out of us, to quote. It's I can't really believe how fast it's gone these past 10 years, and not just how fast it's gone, how much it's grown over the decade. So as for what young people think, I can't speak for all of them, but I think it's gone from something that none of them were aware about, or only those really in the know were aware about, to something now I feel like you could bring it up in a conversation and people would have not only opinions on it, but they would have, references of what MAiD looks like and what it looks like here in the country. People are starting to know people that, have considered it. It's become something so big that it's not something that's just in the news now. It's kind of gotten into people's personal lives as well.
Well, you're seeing, and I'm hoping that these are only extreme cases, but people that what the excuses they're using to apply for MAiD and they're being granted. And I guess of course, the big thing we've been writing about quite a bit lately is, trying to expand it to people with a mental illness. And it's been pushed back, I believe, twice now, and it could be it's supposed to be March 17th next year, where it's implemented again. But there's a lot. It's looking like it's going to be pushed back again. Maybe this is the brick wall that it's finally hit, and it says, all right, enough of this nonsense. So and I guess with mental health being such an issue amongst young people, how many all right, I can't deal with this. Give it to me. Give it to me.
Yeah, it's the edge of a very slippery slope. And again, it's been going like this, it's been building, and you want to just hope it doesn't get over that edge, because once it does, like, how much further can you go than allowing it for people with mental illness? I'm not sure there's much further you can go in terms of a bad idea than where we're approaching. So as you said, hopefully this is something that can kind of halt it in its tracks, at least slow it down a little bit. But yeah, we look at 10 years. We looked at it this year as the cover, or this week as the cover. It's amazing how fast we got here and how far it's gotten.
Well, yeah, and if you're going to give it to someone with mental illness when they're at their lowest point, it's just you're giving up. Well, why would anyone want to give up on life? So, I people I know who have a very close relative of mine has always been had always talked about, I'm not going to go if I'm get that sick, give me that needle and everything. Well, she got sick and I guess looked into it, but it was like, no, MAiD is not for me. I'm just gonna live out a natural death. And it was not good. It was of course, as everyone dies by cancer, it seems. So it was not good, but she got to live with her children, with her husband, and share some time with them. So that was pretty good. And then another real good friend of mine. This guy was a great example, and I wrote about him. This is probably about 10 years ago now, where they were basically he had cancer, and they were there was no hope for him, as they told him. And they're like, okay, you can do this, but it's not going to help. So why don't you do the MAiD? And he says, you guys do your job and you try and do what you can, because you're not giving me that needle. And I loved Chris for doing that, and all the best to him. So
Yeah.
even though he has passed and he's off in that better place, as I always grew up hearing. So let's hope he is. I'm sure he is.
Well
So
said. Yeah.
yeah. Well, a little bit of a downer to end that on, but you know what? As we said, there's a good sign that there is pushback against MAiD right now. And hopefully maybe the pushback will go a little farther. We'll see. So,
Fingers crossed.
yeah. So, on that note, I think we will bring this episode of Registered to a close. I'd like to thank you, Luke, for joining me. And next week we'll have Quentin back with us, probably. You may notice this is a little shorter. I guess having all those extra voices really adds to it. You folks might be saying, hey, you guys, you could be a little shorter if you want, even, Who wants to listen to two bozos like us, right? So, oh well. So, anyways, again, thanks, Luke. I'd like to thank all of the listeners for tuning in. You guys make this happen. And of course, our sponsor this week, and that would be us at the Catholic Register and our Missions and Martyrs magazine. You may have heard about that once or twice during this podcast, but it's celebrating 100 years of the Martyrs Shrine in Midland, Ontario. Go to catholicregister.org/shrine100 or call 1-855-441-4077 extension 1 to order your copy, or see you at the anniversary mass on June 27th. Pick up a copy at the Shrine's gift shop. So, again, thanks all for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week.